This week, we leave Hendricks, Utah behind as we head to Moab and meet up with other friends. We walk in the footsteps of giants, do a little bit of mountain biking on Slick Rock, enjoy some terrific hikes with friends, and reconnect with our bash buddies as we continue our journey to Alaska in Moab, Utah. The gas station in Hendricks foreshadowed some of the events to come.
Getting on the interstate.
First time in a while.
First time in a while. What's on the interstate?
Trucks.
We haven't seen those in a long time.
Lee and Kelly had found a great group site where we got set up and enjoyed a beautiful sunset.
Alright, starting Dinosaurs Tracks Trail outside of Moab. Just got back together with Lee and Kelly.
You'll be seeing a lot more of these guys.
Yeah.
Jason Lee and Kelly.
And
Jason Lee
Jason
and
Lee.
Kelly.
It'll get confusing. Some massive dinosaur tracks.
Along the hike, we saw cactus flowers in full bloom. Spring was definitely here. Further along the trail, we encountered these areas with numerous potholes. We read that these are created when harder pebbles fall on the softer slick rock and then are spun into vortices by runoff, creating an almost perfect circular pattern. Arriving at the dinosaur tracks, we were amazed by the sheer number of different tracks. They were surprisingly well preserved to the point we could follow their path. We also compared shoe sizes with an herbivore and a carnivore. As the day warmed, Stormy started seeking out shade, so we turned around and headed back, taking time to enjoy the desert blooms. The walk back had one more surprise in store.
Greetings from Alaska.
Or at least the Bike Trail Alaska. Back at camp, Stormy's friend Rosie had arrived.
Our compound for the week. There's us, Lee and Kelly. Sally and Devin are there. Doesn't get much better than this. Little morning walk down the wash. Friends went for mountain bike ride. We are gonna hang back this morning because it's already starting to get pretty hot.
We played some swoop in the shadow of Picolino.
Got the beer cooler plugged in / fish cooler once we get to Alaska, and Stormy's food cooler. Nice thing about the Oliver is that we can power both, and we are boondocking, dry camping.
That evening, Devin chopped some wood with his safety flip-flops on and used a Boy Scout technique to light the fire.
Now that's how you light a fire.
The next day was going to be too hot for much of anything, so we headed down the road and along the river.
Out for a little picnic lunch at Moonflower Canyon. It's too blazing hot today to do anything, so Devin and Sally found a little park with a shaded area. So we're gonna go and hang out for the afternoon.
We set up our mobile camp and then headed out for a walk to the back of the canyon. Back in the shadows of the canyon walls, we wasted away the afternoon playing a game that was a combination of skee-ball and quarters until a winner was finally decided.
Ooh.
That was it, right?
Yeah.
While Stormy created a pothole in the sand using nothing but his nose.
Oh, Peanut. What have you been doing?
That evening back at camp,
And I was like, I'm putting a charcuterie thing together. And they're like, yes, please. And I'm hungry.
and our resident mixologist made a round of old fashions. In the morning, the ladies headed out for a ride. Back at the campsite, Tim and Paige had arrived.
So the 2 rules are, don't bring them back broken, and if they're broken, don't bring them back.
Don't bring them back. That's right. You guys have fun.
Bye, buddy. and it was time for the boys to hit the trails.
Now go, go, go. Jason dropping in. Oh yeah, he's in that attack position. His calves are burning, his squats, all those muscles that I can't think of the names.
Then my quads really did start burning. Even later that afternoon, my quads continued to cramp. Stormy and Greta enjoyed the breeze, while we all hung out in the shade of Devin and Sally's fifth wheel. A surprise storm blew through that collapsed our quick-set shelter, but left us with a really cool rainbow behind Roman and Piccolino. The evening was filled with puppy snuggles and singing, until the moon turned the sky into a work of art, and we enjoyed one last fire before Kelly and I headed down the mountain. Do you want to go see Auntie Catherine and Uncle Mark? We have to go in the truck first. We headed up the road to meet with Mark, Catherine, and Carson, and hit the trail for a hike to Fisher Towers, a moderate 4.2 mile trail outside of Moab. It looked a little like something out of Game of Thrones. We continued down the trail until we hit the only obstacle. Oh, compared to some of the crap we've got, that's really nice.
And we're good.
Mark carried Carson down. Then I followed with Stormy.
Are you happy now? Yeah? You got a snack?
I don't know what Mars is, but is this Mars?
I have to agree with Carson on this one. It certainly does look otherworldly.
Hey, team.
At the trail's end, you're rewarded with a spectacular view of the surrounding area. And while it may have been the end of the trail, it was only the halfway point for the hike. We still had to get back. For Stormy's long-awaited reunion with his bestie, Manuka. We had lunch at the food truck court in sunny Moab, then went back to explore more of Moonflower Canyon.
There's a ladder up there. Kind of.
I decided to give it a quick try.
Hi.
As did Mark.
That's really neat, but like, that next one's rough. Yeah.
Instead, we checked out the nearby petroglyphs and soothed a cranky Carson with a makeshift conga line.
What you got?
Your bottle?
Back at the campground with a bottle in hand, he was back to himself. A new day offered up a new hike, this time to Corona and Bowtie Arch. We crossed an active train track that looked like something out of an Old West movie, and made our way up and along the trail toward Corona Arch. But first, we had to conquer a couple obstacles.
You got it.
Climb.
Put your foot in that hole. There you go.
Climb.
There you go.
There are little footholds to step in.
The well-secured ladder was a little bit easier. We were rewarded for our efforts first by Bowtie Arch, then by Corona Arch. Having beaten the crowds, there was room for Carson to play in the shadow of the arch. We captured the moment with a few pictures, and then started our way back down, with Stormy strapped to my back. Climbing up was easier for both of us, but the rescue harness makes it safe for him to go down. With Stormy a bit overheated from the previous hike, the rest of the crew headed up Poison Spider Dinosaur Tracksite trail, where they got to see some distant petroglyphs and some close-up dino tracks. Back in downtown Moab, we toasted to good times with great friends. On our final morning, Stormy was excited to see Manuka again.
Hi.
puppy love at its cutest. They waited for their dads as Mark and I got breakfast. Then we all had to go our separate ways. We backtracked west a little before finally turning north, making our way towards the Canadian border on our journey to Alaska. On the next episode, we'll make our way to the Canadian border. We hope to see you there.
Life is a winding road,